It's sad that you get these, quote, extremists that fundamentally don't understand that they don't even have freedom of speech but for a military complex.
So again, he says that our freedom of speech, everything good comes from the military-industrial complex. Let me read a quote. Because I believe in the security and safety and liberty and freedom and everything else that is associated with it. That's why I'm part of the industrial military complex that you discuss. And this guy is over the top. Neil Bortz has helped the libertarian movement. No, this guy is a warmonger who gets taken on by Alex Jones. I believe it's in martial law. It's unbelievable to me. He asks Bortz for a debate, and Bort's like, I'm a diehard capitalist. You pay me $70,000 right now. We'll have that debate, Jones. Neil Bortz? And he tries to play both sides of the fence. Oh, I like Ron Paul, but his followers are nuts. They're extremists. I love the military-industrial complex. So there's a little demon Hannity for you, and I'm no big Sean Hannity fan. I can't say I've ever been a big Sean Hannity fan, and he just continues the same lines of propaganda that he has been really espousing for over a decade now. All right, let's go back to the callers. Let's go to Ernie in Nevada. Ernie, you are on the line.
Hey, Jason, great job.
Thank you.
I was just calling to see, I was looking at MSN, and I seen Charlie Sheen was on Christmas Day. Have you heard anything about that?
Yeah, Alex went over it on his show, and really, I thank you for the call, Ernie, but it's not something I really want to discuss on the program. It looks like him and his wife had some kind of a domestic spat during the holidays. It happens, and I guess they're seeking counseling. The media said it was violent. As far as I've seen, there's been no violence. He posted an $8,500 bond, but I really don't like to spend time on celebrity issues. We covered the Tiger Woods story here for about 30 seconds the other day, only because CPS came into his home for a surprise visit to make sure everything was okay. Otherwise, we really don't get into celebrity scandals and celebrity news because it's really irrelevant. It's what the establishment would rather have you focus on. They would rather have you focus on UT and the National College Football Championships rather than taking a look at the connections that this Nigerian terrorist had to what seems to be a sharp-dressed man in a suit that got him on board the plane without a passport. That should be the number one story right now. People should be shouting that from the rooftops. And this guy also says that he saw another person being detained. Again, in the next segment, we're going to go over all of this with you. But the mainstream media would rather talk about Charlie Sheen and his Christmas of horrors. All right, let's go to Irene in Texas. Irene, you're on the line.
Okay. Hey, how's everybody over there?
Good.
I missed you guys when you were gone for Christmas. Alex is and you, Jason, are great. Y'all make my day. And I just wanted to comment on a couple of big stories that aren't getting any play on the mainstream media, of course, because they want to talk about Charlie Sheen and everybody who, all their personal issues that aren't even important. Mm-hmm. One is that the FDIC is broke. Mm-hmm. And that their balance sheet shows a negative $8.2 billion at the end of the third quarter. Mm-hmm. And another one is that up on antiwar.com right now, there's an interview by Scott Horton done on December the 20th, talking about how 50,000 troops have quit the armed forces to protest against what they perceive as an illegal war. Mm-hmm. And I haven't heard one thing about that. I think that's a huge story.
That is a huge story. And people like Cindy Sheehan coming into the Barack Obama presidency no longer fit the paradigm that the mainstream media wanted her to fit. So they no longer cover her. She is now trying to establish in the next coming weeks, and we're going to get her on the program. In fact, I should call her after this, where she's going to try to take over the streets of D.C. for the next few months, 2 weeks at a time, and she's hoping that people out there who are against this illegal military occupation in both Afghanistan and Iraq can give 2 weeks of their life to spend down in D.C. in front of the White House on the streets to stop this illegitimate and illegal war and get the mainstream media to cover real issues. If we have 50,000 troops that are quitting the military in behest of what we are doing and continue to do in Afghanistan while they pay the Taliban, while Karzai's brother is the lead opium dealer and he's on a CIA payroll, not just in this administration, but for the last 8 years. We need to stop these illegal wars. Irene, I thank you for the call and the support. We're going to come back with Billy Bob, Matt, and others. It's the Info Warrior. We are going to continue with your phone calls in just a moment. 888-201-2244 or 512-646-1776. But first, I really want to go in depth into this Nigerian bomber incident. And oddly enough, today, another Nigerian who is on the same flight from, I believe it was Nigeria into Amsterdam into Detroit. On the same flight, he refused to get out of the bathroom, and they thought that he was going to try to bomb the plane. Turns out he just had bad indigestion. Just a side note. But let's get into this guy's account that nobody in the mainstream media is talking about, at least not the national mainstream media. Michigan Live, mlive.com, is reporting on it, and that's why it's important. A Michigan man who was aboard Northwest Airlines Flight 253 says he witnessed Umar Farouk Abdul Muttalib trying to board the plane in Amsterdam without a passport. Let me repeat that. Without a passport. Oh. Kurt Haskell of Newport, Michigan, who posted an earlier comment about his experience, talked exclusively with MLive.com and confirmed he was on the flight by sending a picture of his boarding pass. He and his wife, Lori, were returning from a safari in Uganda when they boarded the NWA flight on Friday. Haskell said that he and his wife were sitting on the ground near boarding gate in Amsterdam, which was when they saw Muttalib approach the gate with an unidentified man. Oh, an unidentified man goes to the gate. Kurt and Lori Haskell are attorneys. These are lawyers saying this. Attorneys with Haskell Law Firm and Taylor. Their expertise includes bankruptcy, family law, and estate planning. While Muttalib was poorly dressed, his friend was dressed in an expensive suit, Haskell said. He said the suited man asked the ticket agents whether Muttalib could board without a passport. The guy said he's from Sudan, and we do this all the time. Muttalib is Nigerian, and remember, part of a Nigerian banking elite family where his father called the FBI on him a month prior saying he was dangerous. His father! He shouldn't have been allowed on a plane, especially without a passport. This is insane. But again, notice the media's mantra. We need better screening. We need more security in airports. Well, how about you just go with the security you have and actually enforce it? Muttalib is Nigerian. Haskell believes the man may have been trying to garner sympathy for Muttalib's lack of documents by portraying him as a Sudanese refugee. The ticket agent referred Muttalib and his companion to her manager down the hall, and Haskell didn't see Muttalib again until after he allegedly tried to detonate an explosive on the plane. Haskell said the flight was mostly unremarkable. That was until he heard a flight attendant say she smelled smoke just after the pilot announced the plane would be landing in 10 minutes. Haskell got out of his seat to view the brewing commotion. I stood up and walked a couple of feet ahead to take a closer look, and that's when I saw the flames. I guess he was 7 rows behind Muttalib. It started to spread pretty quickly. It went up the wall all the way to the ceiling. Haskell, who described Muttalib as a diminutive man who looked like a teenager, said about 30 seconds passed between the first mention of smoke when Muttalib was suddenly was subdued by fellow passengers. He didn't fight back at all. This wasn't a big skirmish. A couple of guys jumped on him and hauled him away. No big skirmish. The guy was probably in like a drug-light state, just like Jones said. Immediately, the pilot came on and said 2 words, emergency landing. He really floored it. The plane sped up. Now, here's what's, again, very interesting. They all got interviewed by the FBI. It took about 6 hours, but he says about an hour after landing, Haskell said he saw another man being taken into custody. But a spokeswoman from the FBI in Detroit said Mutalib was the only person taken into custody. And there is no mention of this man or the passport in official accounts. You do the math. It smells like a cover-up to me. All right, let's continue with the callers. Billy Bob in Texas. Billy Bob, you're on the line. Yes, sir. And Billy Bob going once, going twice. You there?
Hello,
yeah, you're on.
hello.
Yes, you're on.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, good. Just want to say you're great. You're a natural, man.
Oh, thank you, man.
And really, I mean, you just stick things flowing. Just like keep it up. What I had that I thought was really a huge effect was the Joker posters. And
the Joker posters, man, that is a good point. I forgot how big those Joker posters really got. And there's another great story from the year. Billy Bob, I got to let you go because your phone's going in and out.